One of the things you need to understand is why you do what you do. And if you're not honest with yourself, you might end up doing things the wrong way. I want to talk about home flipping. A lot of home flippers flip because they're chasing that 10, that 20, that 30, maybe that 50K check. But I want to tell you, there is a different way. It doesn't have to be about all the money. It doesn't have to be living on the hamster wheel. You can do it differently. And we're just going to give you this alternative perspective. Dylan, man, how you doing?
And I'm doing well. I was just telling you right before we hopped on here in front of everybody that I just got back in the States, had a great trip, and excited to be back.
Yeah, how long were you gone again?
So I'm for 24 days.
Wow, over 3 weeks. Again, folks, if you don't know, one of the guys I follow is Dylan on Instagram. His handle is right there, Dillionaire321. Just spent 24 days out of the country, a lot of that in South America. But Dylan, you just put out an Instagram post today that really hit me hard because I've seen a lot of people in real estate get on this hamster wheel of flipping homes or maybe even wholesaling, and they can't get off. And frankly, they're miserable. And I thought you had a neat, unique twist on that. So talk about why you flip and how you do it differently.
Yeah, yeah. So I think it, comes from in the beginning when you're first getting into any type of entrepreneurship or real estate in general. There's usually some reason, some need, right? Most of the time, you're either chasing one of two things. Or you're either using two different motivators. One is running away from pain. So if you just desperately need to make money, it's important to run away from that fictitious cat that's chasing you, right? If you're the mouse.
Mm-hmm.
Eventually, uh, once you start to do a couple deals, using that same fear-based tactic, I don't think is always the right place to be coming from. So you have to learn how to run towards the cheese. And I think the kind of the message behind that little quick 30-second clip that I wasn't able to unpack is what I'm trying to do now. I don't think getting rid of the cat is necessarily the right answer, but I think using both the cat to run away from and the cheese to run towards is a really, really good motivator. And for me, getting very clear about why I'm doing what I'm doing is what helps me stay in what I'm doing. Because after a while, once you cover your needs, right, you get maybe the house that you want, you make the money that you were looking for. The motivation to keep doing the things kind of gets a little bit cloudy, especially when it comes to doing real estate. And once you do it for long enough, you realize it's the same gears that you're turning over and over again. So my biggest message with that is to, yeah, for me, it's less about just making the money, because if it was just about the money, it would get really, really boring. It's about what the money can provide to my life. And that trip that I took to South America is a really good example of how I do this stuff, because I don't just talk about these things as because they're fun to say on social media, but these are really an insight to how I choose to live my life. And going to South America for 24 is definitely an example of that.
No, I think there's so much there that we can all follow, and I think a lot of folks need to answer and be honest with themselves. Is why are they doing what they're doing? A lot of people that I talk to in my circle, especially people that most people watching this would call successful, right? I interact with a lot of
Yeah.
people that people would call successful, and a lot of them tell me that they do it for their family.
Yeah.
Nope, Dylan being a fan. So again, people are doing it for their family. But when I step back, Dylan, and I look at their calendar, their family's not there. It's just not
100%.
there. So,
Yeah.
you need to be honest with yourself. Are you doing this for the ego and the fame? If so, that's great, but be honest. Don't tell me you're doing it for your family and then you ignore your family. I mean, that's just not okay.
100%. It's funny hearing you say that, um, because I remember I actually made a social media, but this is early on into my social media like journey. But I was having a conversation with a buddy, um, and he was telling me about some things that were really important to him. Right, he's in like kind of a different field, but he had some goals that he really had. One of which was like speaking on stages or something like that, given his field. Um, and so I'd asked him, I was like, okay, well, if you were to rank those things in terms of your priorities, like what would you say are the biggest and most important things to you? So he ranks them. And I was talking to him, and I was like, well, because I know I'm on a deep level. Well, where's that you say that's the most important thing to you, but where's that in your calendar? And it wasn't. And then I started,
Exactly.
because most of the time when we give advice, we're giving advice to usually like another version of ourselves, right? Because it's
Right.
biased. So all that to be said, I started asking myself that, and to what you just said exactly. I was saying that family was important to me, and I had two soon to be by law sisters that are going to be in my life, and I was saying family was important to me. Yet I was having this kind of hard time connecting with my two little sisters because they're teenagers and stuff. But I was making no time for them. Yeah, I was
Right.
telling everyone because it's a good soundbite that family's important, but I wasn't hanging out with them. I wasn't making the time, and so I started putting myself to myself as well. So yeah, I think to kind of put a bow on what you said, very very important to legitimately like be honest about what it is that you're chasing and what it is that you want. And if it's unconventional, if it is ego and fame, then that's okay. Just accept it. Because if you
Yeah.
don't, you're just living a double standard.
Yeah. I think one of the things that's become remarkably clear for me is the more honest you are with yourself, the more focused and disciplined you could be. And again, that doesn't matter whether you're on a health journey like I am, where I've dropped 40 pounds of fat, added 12 pounds of muscle. It doesn't matter if you're trying to get to some unit count. It doesn't matter if you're trying to get to some YouTube number. It's as long as you're honest with yourself, like, I want this. And then you figure out or you find people that are doing that, your chances of being successful are like 100%, as long as you don't give up. There's nothing in this world that, that others have that you can't do. Maybe there's some physical things like it's tough to dunk if you're 5'5" or something. But again, outside of those few things, you can have anything you want as long as you declare it, as long as you're honest with yourself, as long as you find other people and execute, execute, execute.
100%. Yeah, I totally agree. And I think also something that I've learned, I mean, you have decades more experience than I do, but something that I've been deeply reflective on over the last couple of years, because especially when you're running away from that cat that we were talking about earlier, you're running away from pain. Um, I used to, I think most of us do this, but we put our goals, accomplishments, targets, things that we're chasing on a pedestal, thinking that that's magically going to solve whatever problems that we're gonna have, or maybe insecurities, wherever the thing is. For me, it was a rental. Then it was like a certain amount of money I wanted to make. Then it was this, that, the other. And what was happening is it was really fucking cool for about a couple days. And
Mhm.
in my case, it was actually less cool the moment I achieved it. And I'll give you a really, really good example. When I had since I was like 19 years old, it's the biggest goal because I was like following your podcast, reading your book, and talking to a bunch of other people in the space that I deeply admired. It was like having a rental, right? So my biggest goal on the Mount Rushmore of chasing things, like if I can get my first rental, it'd be awesome. In 23, I bought a seller finance deal with my dad. I wired all the money I had in my account at the time to do this. It was a great deal that we negotiated. We still have to this day. But the moment I signed the paperwork to buy the deal, I was really fucking sad for like a week. I was sad because I think deep down, and I didn't know this at the time, but I was expecting some magical thing to happen inside of me, that like all of that insecurity, all of that doubt, maybe people were going to think I was cooler, smarter, whatever. None of that happened. But and then I realized, I'm like, well, what the hell was I doing? And then I started realizing I was doing that to so many other things. And then it just became the next thing. I just moved the goalpost and did that same thing with the next goal. And so my point to bringing that up is I wasn't getting clear about what that was going to provide for me. I was just
Right.
subconsciously believing that it was going to change my life. But it's not that the goals don't change your life. You change your life, and you have to be conscious of what you're chasing.
Yeah. The last thing I'll say on this is, at least for me, a lot of my life chasing goals was getting rid of the cat, right? I will freely admit that a lot of amazing accomplishments I've had was because I was afraid of the cat, right? Going to eat me for some reason. Some bad thing was going to happen. But as somebody who's got multiple decades on you, I do want to say this to you and to others. You can only use that for so long. It becomes, it just doesn't have the same oomph after the while. After you beat the cat enough times, you just know you can, and that fear goes away. I think you're onto something with this post, and that's why I wanted to talk about it, because you got to find that joy. You really got to hone in on the joy, the pleasure, because that will last longer, right? We see all these people now talking about motivation versus discipline. Motivation or fear dissipates. Discipline doesn't, right? You want to be in shape. You don't want to work out every day. Well, you know what? You will if that's what you want to do. right? You want to become a millionaire in real estate? Great. You'll look at deals every day for 20 minutes. You want to be a great YouTuber. Well, you'll get better at titles and thumbnails and this and hook and all of that, right? Find your people, find your thing, find your why, chase the pleasure, right? The fear, at least, for me, it can get you so far, but only so far. When you really get hone in on the joy, Dylan, you can go so much farther. And I want to see you do that.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I really appreciate you saying that. It's something, fascinating to think about. I think I surround myself by design with most of the time people that are significantly older than me, because I really appreciate the wisdom that comes with age and the wisdom from people that have been in the trenches a hell of a lot longer than me. One of the biggest things that I hear people say often, um, is that they wish they kind of appreciated life a little bit more and they kind of appreciated the moments.
Yep.
And there's I think his name is Bill Perkins. I was listening to a podcast with Graham Stephan and Bill Perkins on Nice Coffee Hour. I know you
Yeah.
know Graham.
Die with zero. Yeah.
Yeah. And our buddy had recommended this podcast, and I don't listen to a ton of Graham Stephan, but I was suggested this
Yeah.
this
That's a good one.
podcast anyway. Yeah, really, really good. And I don't agree with necessarily everything that he was saying, but one of the biggest things that stuck out to me, and this is really important for me. I'm for those of you guys that don't know, I'm 25. And I look back at like the earlier side of my 20s, and I had a good time, but I was like, my head was down, and I don't really remember a whole lot that was going on other than just hustling. And so one of the things that Bill Perkins had said is that just like and Michael does a good job of talking about this, but like, delaying gratification, planting seeds for the future to get that, like, that financial dividend later on in life. And the earlier you invest, the more dividends that you'll see later on in life. Now, what Bill
Yep.
Perkins was saying is that memories apply the same way. And so a lot of people keep pushing and delaying this gratification later down the line. And it just like if you were to invest your money at, say, 50 as opposed to 20, your financial dividends are going to be significantly less. Well, memory dividends work the same way. And so a lot of what I'm trying to do now doesn't mean I need to go spend a gazillion dollars, but it does mean being intentional about how I choose to spend my time and saying yes to the things that are going to bring me more joy, because that you're going to have higher memory dividends, and those experiences are going to be the culmination of who you end up becoming. And
Absolutely.
the reality is, at least in my perspective, is like if you want this dream life that you're chasing, yes, there has to be a lot of sacrifice that's made. But if like your dream life is like slow mornings, walks in the morning or coffees with friends or whatever that looks like for you, for me, that's a lot of what it would look like in my life. You have to start becoming that person today. And you have to start doing small microdoses of that, because if you have more money in your pocket, all you're going to want to do is chase more money. And you're going to keep pushing all the things that you say are important to you. And you can actually start living that life today, at least in micro versions of those.
Yeah, Dylan, I'm so glad you're part of our conversation each and every week. So glad you're coming out to the Vegas event. You're going to lead off day 2 on Sunday, the same day Pace Morby speaks. It's going to be awesome to have you there. Where can people find you?
Yeah, you can find me on all platforms, predominantly Instagram at Dillionaire321. I post a lot about, that's what Michael was talking about earlier. One of my posts I posted today, but I post a lot about life, real estate, and everything in between. So
again, folks, give him a follow, send him a message, say thank you for coming to One Rental at a Time, because we love his new vision. He's only 25, guys. He's going to be doing amazing things for the next couple of decades, and we're going to be around to see it. Thanks, Dylan.
you